Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Curse of Oak Island Season 12. The Fellowship is finally returning to work on the island. Fans of The Curse of Oak Island will be pleased to hear that work has finally begun on the island for Season 12, which is expected to air in November. The History Channel and The Curse of Oak Island social media accounts have not made any official announcements about the Lagina brothers' arrival on the island, but they never do. Work on the island usually starts in earnest in April or May, and last year filming continued until the first week of November, which is quite impressive. The show and its cast members like to keep things hush-hush, but thankfully there are spies up in Nova Scotia. A personal blog run by a nearby resident of Nova Scotia keeps the world updated from their social media account, Oak Island from the Other Side of the Causeway. From their position on the other side of the causeway, they post pictures of the comings and goings on the island. Operations on Oak Island are reportedly ramping up. Recently, the account has stated that it was pretty quiet on the island, and there was no sign of any cast members. However, this week, they posted pics of multiple vehicles at the Curse of Oak Island base of operations. They wrote, "Guess things are finally ramping up. At least there are vehicles on site today." The Oak Island from the Other Side of the Causeway account has not yet spotted any cast members, and neither Rick nor Marty Lagina have made any announcements. Neither brother is active on social media. Gary Drayton and other Oak Island cast members have not yet been spotted on the island. The only very active cast member on social media is metal detectorist Gary Drayton, who regularly posts videos and pics of his day-to-day treasure hunting activities. However, he keeps his cards metaphorically close to his chest and never lets on about what is happening in Oak Island. Gary spends most of the winter months in Florida hunting for treasure along the beaches, and if his recent social media posts are to be believed, he is still on the southeast coast. The metal detectorist posted a pic of a Florida beach just last week and claimed he spent Saturday morning working in the office. Some cast and crew members, such as Scott Barlow, Laird Niven, and Charles Barkhouse, live in the area and often start work earlier than the Laginas, who must come from Michigan. Perhaps the locals are already well on the way to solving the over 200-year-old mystery. The Curse of Oak Island has persisted for more than 200 years, shrouded in mystery and haunted by the ghosts of treasure hunters past. Over the seasons, a dedicated group of adventurers, the Fellowship, has come together, chasing the whispers of gold, relics, and lost secrets hidden deep beneath the surface of the island. Now, as Season 12 dawns, the team returns, hardened by years of triumphs and setbacks, yet more determined than ever to unearth the truth. The air crackles with a mix of anticipation and dread, for the island has never given up its secrets easily, and the curse still looms large. 7 must die before the treasure is found. 6 have already fallen. The sun rises over the horizon, casting a golden glow over the familiar oak trees. The rustle of leaves in the cool morning breeze feels almost like the murmurs of the island itself, as if it's watching, waiting. The Fellowship of the Dave arrives at the causeway, their trucks rumbling along the gravel path, each of them carrying not just equipment, but also the weight of history on their shoulders. They've been here before, year after year, and though they've uncovered clues, pieces of wood, strange markings, ancient coins, the island's greatest secret remains elusive. Marty Lagina steps out of his vehicle, surveying the landscape. His brother Rick is beside him, eyes fixed on the Money Pit, the focal point of their quest. The Money Pit, an ominous name for a location that has swallowed fortunes, dreams, and lives, beckons them once more. It's a place where tunnels collapse, water seeps in, and the earth itself seems to conspire against the diggers. But they're not here to turn back. The promise of treasure, not just of gold but of knowledge, keeps them going. Season 12 marks a shift in strategy. The Fellowship is older now, and their methods have evolved. Where they once relied solely on drilling rigs and sonar, they've now integrated cutting-edge technology, ground-penetrating radar, LiDAR scans, and even satellite imaging. The island is being mapped down to every root and stone. Every inch of Oak Island will be exposed, if not today, then someday soon. Still, they know better than to underestimate the island. For all its modern advances, Oak Island is still a place where science and the supernatural intertwine. As the team gathers in the war room, a space filled with maps, charts, and historical documents, they review their plan. This season, they'll dig deeper into the swamp, a place many believe to hold the key to understanding the entire mystery. The swamp has always been an enigma, a place that shouldn't exist, according to natural geology. Some say it's man-made, perhaps covering the entrance to a tunnel system. Others whisper it hides a buried ship, laden with treasure from lost civilizations. But the swamp is stubborn, its murky waters concealing more than just mud and reeds. The Fellowship knows that if they push too hard, the swamp may push back. The conversation in the war room is serious, punctuated with moments of quiet reflection. They've seen what happens when the island decides to fight back: collapsing tunnels, strange machinery malfunctions, inexplicable accidents. Each member of the team has felt the island's resistance in their bones, a gnawing unease that tells them they're not the first to attempt this, and they won't be the last. But where others have failed, they must succeed. They owe it to the generations who have come before them and those who will follow. The Fellowship heads out, splitting into smaller groups to focus on different zones. Some work at the swamp, others at Smith's Cove, and a few at Lot 8, where recent metal detector hits have stirred hope that something significant lies buried there. But as they start digging, a strange fog rolls in, creeping up from the coast, enveloping the island in an eerie haze. The temperature drops noticeably and the air grows thick, almost suffocating. They've experienced this before. Weather that defies explanation, as though Oak Island itself is trying to send a message. But they dig on, unshaken by the island's attempts at intimidation. At the swamp, Rick leads the team with renewed determination. The muck and mire cling to their boots as they trudge deeper into the area they've identified as a possible hotspot. The heavy equipment roars to life, and as they scrape away layers of silt, the outline of something hard begins to emerge, a structure of some sort. It's not the first time they've found evidence of ancient construction, but this one is different. There's a pattern to the stones, a deliberate placement that suggests intelligence behind it. The excitement builds as more of the structure is revealed, but so does the tension. They've been close before, only for their hopes to be dashed by yet another dead end. Meanwhile, at the money pit, Marty oversees the drilling operation. The familiar whir of the auger fills the air as it bores into the earth. Each core sample that comes up is inspected with bated breath. Wood from the 1600s, iron nails, charcoal deposits. Each find is another piece of the puzzle, but it's not enough. They need more. They need definitive proof. But just as the drill reaches what they believe could be a significant chamber, the ground trembles slightly. The machinery groans and suddenly grinds to a halt. Panic spreads. Has the pit collapsed again? Is the curse at work? They've lost men and machinery to these tunnels before. The pit is a living thing, a monster that guards its secrets jealously. The sun begins to set, painting the island in fiery hues of red and orange. The team regroups, weary but still clinging to hope. They've made progress today, they've uncovered new clues, but the biggest revelations still lie just out of reach. As night falls, the island's true nature emerges, a place caught between history and myth, a battleground for those brave enough to challenge its curse. The Fellowship sits around a campfire, reflecting on the day's work. The firelight flickers in their eyes, casting shadows that dance like the spirits of those who've perished in this quest. They share stories, theories, and doubts, but above all, they share a bond forged in the crucible of Oak Island's relentless trials. They know they're getting closer, but they also know the island won't give up without a fight. Season 12 will test their resolve like never before. The answers they seek may be buried under layers of earth and history, but they're also hidden in plain sight, in the stories passed down, in the legends whispered in the dark, and in the belief that some treasures are worth any price. The island has its own will, its own consciousness, and perhaps even its own plans. The Fellowship will have to navigate not just the physical challenges, but the psychological ones as well. Oak Island is a riddle wrapped in a curse, and as they dig deeper, they're not just unearthing artifacts, they're unearthing the very essence of the mystery itself.